Hey there everybody, Popontop here. Welcome to a very interesting and very exciting video that we have going on here today. So some news came out. Microsoft bought Bethesda. Not just Bethesda Game Studios who make Fallout 4 and Skyrim and all those games, but the whole entirety of ZeniMax Media. So that goes all the way from your id Softwares, your Arcade Studios, everybody. If you think of Bethesda at all, everybody, right? All of those games. For the big old purchase cost of $7.5 billion. Billion with a B. Not million, billion. The one with the B, right? So we're just clear here. To compare that to some other game acquisitions and stuff, Microsoft purchased Minecraft a couple years ago for $2.5 billion. So a third of what they paid for Bethesda here. Bethesda in its entirety. I'll just refer to it as Bethesda from now on, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Also, just as another side note thing on a big purchase, Disney bought Star Wars for $4 billion. So that's almost two Star Wars is how much Bethesda is worth. As part of this deal, Microsoft will now have 2,300 more employees throughout all of Bethesda studios, working on things like Fallout and Doom and Dishonored and Prey and Wolfenstein. That's a lot. There's a lot of games here though. So what does this mean, right? What does this mean? So they bought them. What does that mean? Obviously, the biggest deal here is that all of these games are going to be on Game Pass. So even the older ones, I imagine, because most of the games are already on Game Pass. Right now, you can play Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls Online on Game Pass. Dishonored 2 is currently on Game Pass. It's about to leave, which is kind of silly. But certain games aren't, right? Like obviously, Doom Eternal isn't. Doom was on, I think, Game Pass for a long time. I could be corrected. I could be wrong about that. So, if all those games come to Game Pass, that's just extreme value right there in and of itself. But that doesn't even count for all the new games. So what's going to happen with the new games? So, for example, there's 2 games already being worked on as PlayStation 5 exclusives, Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. Deathloop, obviously, from McCain, the people who made Dishonored and Prey. Those games, according to Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, are going to continue their exclusivity contracts to be on PS5 for a timed period of time. They were always timed exclusive contracts, but I imagine that Bethesda, even now owned by Microsoft, can't get out of those contracts. So they just have to do them as they would do them. But as soon as those games are done with their exclusivity contracts, the timed exclusives, I imagine they're going to come to Xbox and they're going to be on Game Pass for no additional cost. And then you got to think about all the other exclusive games. So what is everybody else working on? Obviously, Doom developers, id Software, they announced the first big Doom DLC. There's supposed to be 2 Doom Eternal DLCs. But what about Doom 3? Well, I mean, I guess technically Doom 3 is an old game. I bet the 30 could be on Game Pass. But I'm talking about like the new Doom 3. Or about Starfield. Starfield is the next big game from the main Bethesda Game Studios. The people who made Fallout 4, Skyrim, right? Not just spin-off stuff. Even Fallout 76 is partially made by them, but mostly they've been working on Starfield. What about that game? Is that game going to come out on PlayStation? I don't know. They haven't been very clear about it. They've said very specifically all of these games are going to be coming out on Xbox and PC, and that every game in the future will be determined on a case-by-case basis if it comes to other consoles. So a lot of people are taking that information as, oh, it's going to come to all the other consoles. Or people are taking that information as, it's not going to come to all the other consoles. It's exclusive only. Just take things at face value. What is confirmed? It is confirmed that it's coming out on Xbox and PC, and they're all going to be on Game Pass the day they come out. Which is crazy. That's crazy value. Excuse me? Like, there's 8 studios here, and it's part of Bethesda. And on top of Xbox's already 15 game studios, bringing the total up to 23 game studios, whose games, the second they come out, the second, the minute, all that stuff, you get them as part of Game Pass. That is crazy. That is absolutely just astronomical in terms of its value. I currently pay $15 a month to get Xbox Game Pass for console and for PC and Xbox Live Gold as my whole bundle thing. And I can play soon, at least I can play when they put the games out. The games aren't out on Game Pass yet, but soon I'll be able to play Doom Eternal on PC, where you want to play Doom Eternal on PC, keyboard and mouse, you're doing your shooter thing. You do something a little different, like your slower RPG games you want to play on console or whatever. Or you can do one or the other, right? So obviously the deal here is PC players aren't going to be missing out regardless. it's a real big benefit for Xbox players. And I think even if you play on PC, you should still get Game Pass for PC. Now, to go off on a little tangent here with this kind of thing, now that Microsoft owns Bethesda, they therefore own the Fallout IP because Bethesda owns the Fallout IP and Microsoft owns them. So if you own the Fallout IP, you can do whatever you want. Microsoft also owns Obsidian, the people who made Fallout New Vegas, which is the gameplay you're currently enjoying in the background here. So technically, they could make Fallout New Vegas 2. It wouldn't be Fallout New Vegas 2. I really hope not. Like, you could just do something totally different. You could do like Fallout New Orleans or Fallout whatever. But you could make like another Fallout spin-out game that Obsidian gets to make. And then people, I'm sure people would be psyched for that. People love Fallout New Vegas, right? Or even In Exile, who are currently just released Wasteland 3, which is a fantastic game that you should check out if you like Fallout at all. It's isometric, so it's a little bit different thing. It's not, you know, your first-person shooter, or third-person, I guess. It's not your shootery type of game, but it is a fantastic post-nuclear apocalyptic RPG. They could make a Fallout game, like an isometric one, like the old-school Fallouts, where they could make a brand new isometric Fallout game. I mean, that's just crazy. The Doom guy could be in Halo, right? Like, he could just be like a Halo Spartan skin or whatever, right? Like, just the crossovers of these things. Like, if Xbox was to make like a Super Smash Bros. Type game with all the characters now, they have a lot of them now. These are Xbox characters now. The Vault Boy, the Doom guy, right? BJ Blazkowicz, right? Like, essentially all of your, and that's just with the Bethesda ones. Plus, you got all your originals, your Master Chief. You got all the rare stuff from Conker to Banjo-Kazooie, right? Perfect Dark. You got so many different options and things, and it's just crazy. I really want to know, guys, though, down in the comment section down below, what do you think about Microsoft buying ZeniMax Studios, the whole overarching Bethesda thing? Because you think you have a PlayStation and you're like upset because you could probably see this coming with the mod situation, right? Like, the PS4 is not been very good about mods. Xbox has always been really good about mods and allowing that on the console sooner and in a more full capacity. So if you have a PlayStation, you might be missing out on some of these games here in the future. So you might want to have to consider getting an Xbox and get it with Game Pass because they're all going to be included. I think that's a great deal. Like I said, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please make sure to like rating down below. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. That way you can check out more videos from me. And pretty much other than that, you guys have a good rest of your day, whatever it may be, and I will see you in the next episode.